We just start like this.
Alright, for Smackdown August 12th, Smackdown kicked off with a women's tag team tournament to go ahead and crown the new tag team champions for the women's division. The first people up for Smackdown were going to be Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez.
They went against Shayna and Shotzi, which again, they were part of that gauntlet match from last week, and they just seemed to put a couple of teams together and make up a random tournament for the tag team titles.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be too much chemistry or any reason for these tag teams to be together, but I hope they do put some story in between that and make it interesting, so I actually care about these tag teams. During that tag team match, the camera pans out and shows Sonya Deville and Natalya just standing at ringside for some reason. I guess they were out there before the first tag team even came out because they didn't show them walking down from the ramp at all.
While the match was short, Natalya and Sonya were out off the side for some weird reason. They didn't seem to have a purpose besides, you know, getting in the way once they were thrown out of the ring. Raquel did have this kind of botch later on Shotzi where she tried to do her signature move where she does like a spin elbow drop and then completely landed on Shotzi's head. And then you can see later on in the match she gets some blood on her mouth or forehead.
Yeah, that spinning elbow drop is a tough move to land. I think she might need to work on where she hits it. Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez picked up the win for the tag team tournament with another Tejana bomb.
The only highlight was Raquel. She did stand out a bit, so that was a plus.
So overall for that women's tag team match, although it was short, Raquel Rodriguez did have some shining moments. I didn't see too much from Aaliyah, honestly. I hope to see more out of her soon.
Seems like she's just there as a filler, which is kind of bad for whatever's going on in SmackDown. We need more stories for the women's to fill in all these segments that we're missing.
Yeah, because right now with the women's division, I don't really feel any storylines going on or any reason any tag teams are together. They got to work on that with their tag team division instead of just throwing random people together and see if it works.
Chemistry.
Chemistry is important.
Chemistry. Breaking Bad. Chemistry.
Chemistry. Oh man, chemistry.
So after that, cuts to Cross cutting a damn near believable promo on Drew McIntyre. And to me, it looked really good. It's a great promo. I thought it was pretty menacing. And then shortly after he finished his promo, it kind of panned out to make it look like Cross was just spying on Drew and while Drew was getting ready for his match.
So after the Karrion Kross promo, Drew McIntyre comes to the ring and he's cutting his own promo. And right in the middle of it, he is interrupted by Scarlett. The whole screen turns gray. Drew McIntyre is distracted. And what happens? The Usos come up and attack him from behind. So after the Usos blindside Drew McIntyre, it seems like they're working with Cross, but they do send a threat for Cross through Scarlett. So it looks like a free-for-all. Drew McIntyre gets distracted a lot. Last week he was blindsided coming down from the ramp. This week he's blindsided inside the ring. Watch your back, McIntyre. Just look behind you. Who's up? No? Alright. Every once in a while, McIntyre, come on.
Just shortly after that, they showed a pretty sweet promo for the Intercontinental belt. It was pretty good. They're trying to hype up the belt, trying to bring it back in the big picture. You know, currently it's on Gunther, and I think they're trying to build it up to be bigger, be part of the pay-per-views more often than, you know, they were.
So after the Intercontinental trailer, it cuts to an interview with Shinsuke Nakamura, and the only words he has for Gunther is, "Come on!" which is pretty good. I hurt my throat. That wasn't even that much. Next, the Viking Raiders come out, and it looks like they're still continuing that feud with the New Day against the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders come out of the ramp and are attacked by Kofi Kingston with the kendo stick again. They block the kendo stick from Kofi, and the Viking Raiders get the upper hand and end up doing a devastating splash on Kofi Kingston up on the ramp. It looked pretty nasty.
It did. Then after that, they showed that they were gonna have a Viking funeral for the New Day next week. So can't wait to see what's gonna go on there.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see. I guess there was a match planned against one of the Viking Raiders against Kofi, but after that interruption at the beginning, I guess they just scrapped the match.
That's right.
So after they beat up Kofi Kingston, they just walk right back up the ramp, and then they left.
Then it cuts to Sami Zayn going to Roman Reigns' dressing room, even though they announced that Roman Reigns was not going to be there. So he knocks on the door, Usos come out, bam, Drew McIntyre just attacks him. And then once they're on the ground, Drew McIntyre says he's gonna beat their arses. All right, that was pretty legit.
I'll beat your arse. He's Scottish. He says things funny sometimes.
And it's believable too.
I believe him. Drew McIntyre can fucking kick anyone's ass.
He could kick my ass.
He kick your arse.
Ho ho.
So then after McIntyre beats up the Usos, it cuts to two jobbers in the ring. Pat McAfee's back at it again, drawing his little arrows and circles all over the jobbers with his new little tablet. It's pretty funny. He's saying that the jobbers are going to poo their pants here, here, and here.
It's about 7 times they're going to poo their pants.
That's a lot of poo. Then after McAfee's done messing with the jobbers,
bam! Hit Row comes out. Coming back from their release after they were released a year or 2 ago maybe. They bring them back, they go in, beat the jobbers up. It was a really quick match. They once they finished, they cut a promo to reintroduce themselves and just, you know.
If you don't know, now you know. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know too much about Hit Row. They seem pretty cool. I hope they do a lot of fun things.
They did show up for like a Smackdown. They did some teasers. They were there for like probably like 2 Smackdowns and then they were released.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
So there. But that's really good that Triple H is bringing back some people, you know, to fill in those voids of SmackDown.
And then the next segment was Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler's contract signing for their match at Clash at the Castle.
Now before they enter, you see Ronda Rousey coming out through the crowd with the bag that we don't know what's in there. She probably could have a gun, yet they let her in. She goes in the ring, no security stopping her, hovers over that table and just dumps a bag full of money.
Before she dumps that bag, she says, I was fined at some point. Well, here's double the money. She just dumped the money, no reaction. And then she walks out of the ring. And then security comes out and tries to stop her. And then she attacks one of the security guards just trying to do their job. She wasn't allowed in the ring. What? As Ronda's walking up the ramp, she runs into Shayna Baszler coming down. Shayna tells Rousey that's not how you do things here. This is not how you get what you want. Then Rousey tells Shayna that she's lost her edge. She used to be a killer. And then she walks up the ramp. Anyway, Shayna Baszler comes down the ramp, enters the ring, and signs that contract right away.
So Shayna calls out Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan comes out, goes to the ring, and completely ignores the whole wad of cash on the table, which kind of, you know, really bugs me. I know those guys are struggling. So they should have grabbed a couple stacks, put in the pocket, no one would have said anything, all right? All right, so Liv Morgan comes out, she signs a contract, then cuts a promo on Shayna Baszler, calling her a bootleg Ronda Rousey. And Shayna did not like that. She got Liv Morgan's arm brace, starts doing all these sweet submission moves on her. Liv reverses it into a bulldog and then makes Shayna go into the table and gets the upper hand like that.
Shayna's face first in a pile of money. Liv Morgan stands tall at the end of that. Next, the Usos come out to the ring and call out Drew McIntyre for a tag team match. But Drew McIntyre comes out alone and it turns into a handicap match.
By coming out alone, Drew McIntyre is pointing out that the Usos are no threat to him.
But the Usos end up getting the upper hand and Drew McIntyre is in trouble. But Madcap Moss's music hits and he comes down to the ring for some reason. I'm not too sure why Madcap would come to the aid of Drew McIntyre. It seems not too long ago they were in a feud. But anyway, he comes to the rescue for McIntyre and eventually they both get the upper hand on the Usos. And just as it seemed as McIntyre is about to hit a Claymore on the Usos, Sami Zayn runs out and distracts McIntyre again. McIntyre gets distracted again. So McIntyre wins that match with a Claymore on one of the Usos, and then I believe after that McIntyre is going to hit another Claymore on the other Uso, but Sami Zayn takes that Claymore for him, just to show how loyal he is to the bloodline. Even though it seems like they don't really care too much about him, he's still trying to prove himself.
Then we have a couple of promos with Maximum Male Models. After that, Ricochet gets interviewed, looking pretty cool in all his drip. And then that gets cut short when Baron Corbin attacks him from behind. And it seems like they're gonna start a feud going further into the future.
I miss nasty-haired Baron Corbin. I miss that Corbin. Bring him back. I think he can grow his hair out now. I think it would look great. You can put him in a wig, fuck it. Put him in a wig, go for it. I don't care. Whatever gives him his long, nasty hair back. Next is the Intercontinental title match between Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura. First, Shinsuke comes out in a breathtaking black and gold outfit. He looks amazing coming down to the ring, just strutting down, looking like a badass. He really looks like a wrestling god. That's pretty sweet. I always love Shinsuke's outfits and his entrances. They're always the best part.
Then Gunther comes out and he gets introduced like a goddamn dictator, which looks pretty fucking sick. Comes out in his nice his red trench coat. Gets introduced by Ludwig as the Ring General, Gunther. And yeah, it was pretty good. Love that entrance, and it really hypes up their match that they're about to have.
So that match was very hard hitting. We saw some hard kicks from Shinsuke on Gunther that left some visible marks on him. However, Gunther also left some marks on Shinsuke with all those nasty chops. Man, those are pretty hard. Anyway, this was a very fast-paced, devastating match. These guys were really doing all they could to make this match one of the best.
Shinsuke gave some pretty devastating kicks. He got a nice shin to the mouth and knocked Gunther back.
So throughout the match, Shinsuke was working on Gunther's arm to go ahead and get rid of one of his main weapons, which was his mighty chop. But that didn't stop Gunther from figuring out other ways to hurt Shinsuke.
Yeah, like always, Gunther has some devastating chops, hard-hitting moves. Really brings out Shinsuke's hard style. Having locked up for all these years, you know, now it seems like this match really brought it out, and hopefully we see more moving forward.
Yeah, this match was great. I couldn't tell who was going to win, and I didn't know who I wanted to win either. I wanted Gunther to win, and I wanted Shinsuke to win. Either one could have won, but at the very end, Gunther hit a dropkick on Shinsuke and ended it with a power bomb. And he gets the 1, 2, 3 on Shinsuke to retain the Intercontinental title. An amazing match. Shinsuke didn't look bad at all. He looked amazing. He made Gunther look amazing. Gunther made Gunther look amazing, honestly. Gunther's just that good, and I hope he goes even higher. The Intercontinental title is not the last title he's gonna have. And it seemed like Shinsuke got up and looked very angry with Gunther. Maybe this feud isn't over, or maybe Shinsuke goes after someone else with that anger. Who knows? I hope to see more out of him though. Well, that does it for this episode of Smackdown Review, whatever we name this show. Anyway, catch us next week. Chopping it up.
Chopping it up.
Chopping it up. Chop, 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 chop.
Chop.
You're gonna love my nuts.
Let me know if you want a cookie show. Chop.
That's fine. Chopping it up.
You just start like this. We just start like this.